Hey everyone, today we're going to be working on our Module 9 lab, and this is the lab where you're going to learn how to add text to video. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a new project in Premiere Pro, and I'll just call it Module 9 Lab. And I'm going to save it in my Module 9 folder. Okay, so here's my blank Premiere file, and I'm going to go over to Import Media. And you should have downloaded the Module 9 folder that has 2 videos and a JPEG in it. So we're going to go ahead and put those into our timeline. So make sure you just select the flowers one, the flowers video, and you're going to drag it over to our timeline and drop it there. And this particular video has some audio with it. So I'm going to go ahead and press the space bar so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so that is our video clip that we're going to use for this, and then we're going to put the winter JPEG after that, so it's kind of like seasons, so like spring and then winter. So when you drop that JPEG, you can leave its duration is currently about 5 seconds. So you can so that it fills our whole screen. Okay. Okay, so we should be ready to add our text to the 2 different clips that we have. So we have the flower video and then we have the winter JPEG. So we're going to go ahead and drag the playhead to about the middle of the flower clip, and then make sure that you don't have either of the clips selected. You want to click on the line above to deselect that clip. Then we're going to go over here to the text tool on our toolbar, and we are going to go up to our preview window, and you can see the little cursor to type text. So you want to drag out a box, and we're going to type the word spring. Okay, and we can edit that text over here in the effect section. So if you see where it says text and you scroll open that little arrow there, that's where you can choose your font and the alignment and all that. So we're going to choose right alignment, and go ahead and just pick like a scripty looking font. I'm going to go with Snell Roundhand, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then as far as the color goes, you can make that whatever you want. I'm just going to go with like a golden yellow kind of color. Okay, now I'm going to twirl this little arrow closed, and we're going to talk for a minute about text animation. So you can see down here that this is the text that's overlaying the video. So if I were to play it right now, the text just pops on the screen. And then it pops out. Okay, so we want to make it a little bit more of a fade in. So I'm going to put the playhead at the beginning of the text. And then we're going to go over here to the opacity section in the effect controls. So you can make the text move in position, so you can make it fly in from the side, you can make it grow, you can make it rotate. We're going to go ahead and just get it to fade in, and so we'll start with 0 opacity, and then we'll fade it up to 100, and then the transition between the clips will fade it out. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is create a anchor keyframe. So we're going to click this button right here, add remove keyframe, right next to opacity. And so that adds our keyframe right where we're starting. We want it to start at 0. Okay? And then we can drag the playhead over either down here or up here. We can probably do it up here easier. And we'll add another keyframe. And with that one, we'll make the opacity 100. So then it should fade in as you go. Okay, so when you're animating or adding motion to something, you use keyframes, and the keyframes tell it where to start and what to get to, and then the computer will decide how fast it comes in or out. Okay? So we've added our spring text. Go ahead and save that. And then we're going to go over to the winter one. Somehow my winter image got pulled over here. Not sure what's going on with that. See, winter, come back. Its positioning is off. I'm not sure how that happened. Anyways, okay. So again, we want to click above the clip to deselect, and then we're going to go to our type tool, and we're going to type the word winter, and I'm going to select all, Command A, and then go over to your text. We're going to justify right, and I'm just going to make it white text this time. Okay, so we're going to do the same sort of thing here. The playhead's at the very beginning, so we're going to put a keyframe. And at our first keyframe, we want the opacity to be 0. And then if we drag it over a little ways, we want our second keyframe. And on that one, we want our opacity at 100. So that's how we get the fade. So on that, it's a little bit longer than the JPEG, so we can either make the JPEG longer to match, or we could make that other one shorter, either way. Okay, so now we just need to add a couple transitions. So go over to this effects panel, and we're going to go to video transitions. And you can try something funky here. I'm not going to be picky about what you use. So go ahead and just play with those a little bit and add one to the end of each of our clips. So add one to the end of the flower video and one to the end of the JPEG. And on this one, I'm not really happy with where winter's at, so I'm going to go back to the selection tool, I think. It's that one. No, sorry. Yeah, that works. Sometimes you have to use this one, the hand tool, but the selection tool works in this case. So I'll just move winter over a little so you can read it just a bit better. And then I think we're ready to render, so let's go up to sequence, render into out. And we'll just give it a minute here. We only have audio behind the video, but that's okay. We'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, so something really strange just happened in between here. I don't know if you guys saw that. But on here it looks good. So we just need to add a dip to black up here to this also, and that way the winter will also fade out. Okay, so that's what I want you to turn in for Lab 9. To export it, you need to make sure that you have the timeline selected, so your blue box is around here. You're going to go to File, Export Media, and then on this make sure you're at H.264, and you can do either high or medium bit rate. And then go ahead and click on the output name. And you want to save it in the Lab 9 folder. So we're just going to call it Module 9 Lab, and it's going to save as an MP4. So with the high bit rate, it's looking at 20 megabytes. If you want to go a little bit smaller, you can go to medium, and it'll get it down to 6. So that's fine for this assignment, and you can just click export so that it'll export it right away. And then once it's done, just go ahead and check it, make sure it looks good, and then you can upload that for Module 9 Lab. Thanks.